and it'll give you numbers to call if you need any assistance. But this is a number that you will use throughout your entire business. If you open any business accounts, if you file for any loans or anything, this is the number you need. And I mentioned before, like the business insurance, for my business, I use my personal auto insurance. So this is business auto insurance. And what we did was we took a part of our business policy and designated it to the business and part for personal. So we split it in half, and we didn't have to pay anything extra. Once you begin to send your emails out, there are a couple things I want to cover. I want to cover what you would say to them, and I want to cover what you would write to them. The first thing is that what you would say to them. So when you are soliciting the company through email, you definitely want to put in the regard or the message, the title of the email, vendor opportunity or potential vendor. You want to put vendor application, things like that. So when you email the companies, you definitely want to enter certain information. And I gave you some email templates in the ebook for property preservation contacts. So you can reference that if you want to know exactly what to say to them. That way they understand that you are definitely a professional business. And once you email them, you always want to make sure you put this information there. That way they can look at a glance and they'll know automatically what your business state is and what things you have in your business. So they'll ask for your company's name, your information, which is your name. They'll ask for your address. They're going to ask what counties you cover. They're going to also ask for the number of years you've been in business. If you've only been in business for a month, or if you're a new business, that's okay. You don't have to feel that you can't put that down. They understand that there are a lot of new companies open up, and just put that there, new business or new vendor. Or you put less than 1 year if you want. Just make sure you don't feel that that's going to be counted against you. Now, for references, they will ask for 3 business references, and they want business references. So in case you don't have it, you can always put your new business, or you could put personal references there. But for me, I just put new business, and they knew that at the time there are no business references, but they can contact you if they want additional information. They're going to ask you for your FEID number. FEIN or FEID, which is your federal ID number. That's EIN. So give it to them. They'll ask you if you have insurance coverage and what they are. So when you give them a general liability, you want to bullet everything that they have or that you have. And you have to have at least $1 million for each occurrence, at least $2 million for aggregate. And for your car insurance, they want you to have at least $100,000 for bodily injury per person, $300,000 for per accident, and $50,000 per property damage. Those are the minimums. Now, some companies require more, and it just depends on the client. But the majority of the property preservation companies that I work with have asked for those limits. And when it comes to workers' comp insurance, if you don't have it, then say you don't have it. If you're in the process of getting the insurance, then put pending. Or if you have it, then put what you have. So workman's comp insurance is something that may or may not be asked by the client, or may or may not be required. You have to just find out once you fill the application out with them what they need. They're going to also ask you what services you offer, and you want to give them a really good detailed list of all the services you offer, and that way they know how full scale you are. If you only offer 2 or 3, definitely put 2 or 3. If you want to offer certain services but maybe don't understand how it works, it's okay. For me, when I first got started, I just put everything down that I would like to work in. And as I got the jobs, we learned them as we went, because you have to get the opportunity. And through these modules, I will teach you how to complete those jobs. That way you will have at least a really good idea of what those jobs are required, because you have to meet the minimum regulations for HUD for those jobs. Now, in your business, you also want to make sure you create a professional image. That may mean having a logo, and that logo will be used for all your bid forms and all of your invoices and any other documentation that goes out on behalf of your business. That is your signature for your industry. That people see that, they recognize you and who you are. And uniforms. You want to make sure that you take the time out and get uniforms for yourself, your contractors, or your employees. And I'll preface this with the story that actually happened in our business. So there was a property we worked on in the area, and let me say this first. So when we first started, we did get uniforms for all our employees. But through the course of business, we kind of, began to get so busy. We would, not ensure people wore their uniforms to work and kind of cut that corner sometimes. But there was an incident that happened where I sent out some employees to a property and they did not have on our business uniform. And the locals in that area did not know why there were people in a vacant property. They didn't know if they were trying to steal equipment or materials out of the property. They didn't know if they belonged in the property, and it really caused them to be heightened and alarmed. What they did is they did call the local area enforcement and the police, and they came and they asked the group of employees, what their business was there, and they showed the police their work orders and the business document, and the police understood. They left them alone. But had they had their uniforms on, this might not have happened. The locals would have seen, oh, that's a business over there. Oh, they're working to clean the properties, and that would have mitigated that problem that came. That could have been, that could have been worse. It could have been if the police was not as understanding, but he was, and for that I'm thankful, and for that I learned the lesson of making sure all employees have their uniform before leaving out for those work orders, no matter what. Because we owe the people in the community that respect, that they can see at a distance that we are just visitors. We're not here to harm them, and we're here to help their community keep their property values. So I can share that and not be ashamed, because it happens. But the most important thing is, when it happens, what did I learn from it, and what did I do to make sure it didn't happen again? Okay, so make sure you always keep a uniform presence about your business. And that could mean, for example, going to Cafe Press. They have a very awesome website where you can go and make your own uniforms. And if they are a bit pricier, if you can't afford this type of a venue, you can go to Walmart and just buy some uniform color t-shirts or uniform color polos, and just have everyone the same color, and that will suffice. When people see 5 employees or 5 individuals in a property wearing the same color, then they intuitively know, oh, they must be a business. You want to honor the people in the area and make sure that they are not alarmed by your abrupt presence, making lots of noise, hauling debris, moving out whatever it is in the properties. You want them to be comforted to know that you're there to help. Another question that I always get is website creation. And the question is, if you're starting out in your business, no, you really don't need a website. Now, there will be a few companies that will ask for your website URL, but it all depends on the level that you're trying to take your business. In today's industry, if you don't have a website, you're really not in business. And that is true to an extent. But when you're first starting out in business, your main focus needs to be building your clientele and getting more work to your business. So once you become established